Hey, what's up, fellow boxing brothers, lovers? Hey. Alright, so this Saturday we have a good card in London at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And it's the rematch of Eubank Jr. versus Benn Jr. Or Benn. Yes, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. And that's the main event, of course. But before I get to that, there is another fight that is interesting. I might mention first that also we have Adam Azim fighting on the card and Richard Riakporhe at heavyweight, actually. Now, yeah, Riakporhe has been kind of hasn't really delivered his promise, and he's already 35 years old, so I'm afraid his prime is running out. Has probably run out already. When the way he lost to Chris Bill Smith, that was a very disappointing performance, by the way. But now he's fighting some unknown guy from Britain, so guess it should go alright for him. And yeah, Tommy Welch, never heard of him. Adam Azim is fighting an American guy called Kurt Scobie. Super lightweight, light welterweight division. I actually don't like the name super lightweight. It's fine. It sounds. I don't like the way it sounds. Anyway, now the co-main event is a really good fight at welterweight between Jack Catterall and Echo Essuman. Essuman is coming off his biggest victory so far over Josh Taylor. Yeah, I washed up Josh Taylor, but still, and both guys have beaten Josh Taylor. That's what they have in common. And yeah, I mean, Echo Essuman is both guys are technical boxers and fighters, definitely. Not without power, but the thing with Jack Catterall, he doesn't really go for the KO so often, or I don't know. It's been a while since he scored a knockout. So Essuman also doesn't have many knockouts, but has scored a few over actually pretty good, solid opponents. Such as Chris Jenkins, for instance, once a really hyped Welsh prospect. Danny Bull, who was unbeaten, and also Owen Cooper, previously unbeaten. So, yeah, he's only got one loss. That was to Harry Scarf on points 23. Now he's holding the WBO Global Welter title, which is at stake here. And Jack Catterall, he had his first welterweight fight in July, but that was a victory by a fluke, you might say, because he won by a technical decision against Harlem Eubank. Still, of course, he deserved that victory, no doubt. Yes, so his only loss so far, his only real loss was to Arnold Barboza in February this year. Yes, so he didn't really perform as well as expected there, but I trust now at this weight he will try and reinvent himself anyway. I don't know if he will manage to reinvent himself, but a victory over Essuman will be a really good start, on that path. Essuman is based in Nottingham, and Catterall is from Chorley in Manchester, or near Manchester anyway. Yeah, Essuman, the older guy, 36, but Catterall not that much younger, 32. Essuman has got an 3 inches height advantage, and also actually it says here that Catterall has almost 3-inch reach advantage. Wow. And is a southpaw, which makes him hard, to fight, hard to read. he has scored knockdowns. Sorry, for instance, against Regis Prograis because he caught him, when he wasn't really expecting it. And yeah. Anyway, what I expect from this fight is a really good close matchup. I mean, a good close fight. But probably Catterall, I would lean towards Jack Catterall, because he's so damn tricky and really, really good, slick, technical fighter. Essuman is, more like, not as slick anyway, I would argue, but still a very good fighter himself. Obviously, he's proven that. And he can be beaten anyway, so which Harry Scarf proved. I haven't seen that fight, by the way, so I cannot say if that the decision was fair or not, but it was pretty, it wasn't a razor thin decision, so yeah. So I think anyway that Catterall will likely just snatch this. But it will be a close fight, I expect it. And we know Catterall's style, it will be a rough physical fight, He likes to rough up his opponents. However, I don't know about against Essuman, who looks kind of strong, if he will manage to do that. But yeah, anyway, as I said, Catterall's got only 13 knockouts of 31, so yeah, this will go the distance most likely. Yes, alright. And then we finally go to the main event, of course. What a fight, what a rematch. There's been a lot of talk about this fight as it was about the first one. Not all very positive, many people are still kind of protesting, saying that Benn is not really a middleweight. And this shouldn't happen again. Yeah, so Benn, the younger man, by 7 years, and both guys are orthodox, but also the shorter man by 3 inches. He's even a little shorter than his father, so Nigel Benn was like 5'9.5", I believe, or I don't know if he still is. Eubank 5'11", a little taller than his old man, actually. Yeah. And also a big reach advantage, 4 inches. I mean, the first fight you who saw it, you saw Conor Benn did really well in the first 3 rounds, was very aggressive. He's the faster guy here, definitely, because he's a smaller, lighter guy and more nimble. However, Chris Eubank is very good at coming back after a bad start and just timing his punches very well and catching his opponent coming in and then mounting a offensive counter attack. That's what he does good, really good. He wasn't able to get Conor out of there, which was a slight surprise. He hit him with many solid shots, and Conor is a smaller guy, as I said, everybody knows that. But he stood there and traded till the end, even when he was pressed against the ropes, taking a beating, he was there. You gotta give him huge props for that. He didn't back down. There's a lot at stake here, of course. Family pride, the family name, all that. Yeah. So, with Chris Eubank kind of, nearing his end, of his career now, obviously. He's 36 and has been in quite many fights, has been in some brutal fights as well, some wars. He's got, more fights than Benn, and how many fights does he have? He has 38 fights so far. Yeah, Benn has 24. Yeah, big difference, but then there's a quite big difference in age as well. And Benn was suspended, for I don't know, a couple of years or something, because he tried to gain an advantage when their first fight, when their fight was first supposed to happen in 22, I think, late 22 or something, or early 23, I don't know. Yeah, he was caught cheating, and that kind of set his career back, but now he's back. Listen, I think what happened, what Conor Benn did wrong last time was to go all out from the start, pretty much like his old man did in the first fight with Chris Eubank Sr. He went all out, he thought he was going to knock him out easily, and boy, was he, were they both wrong. So Chris Eubank Jr. Might have not inherited that incredible, like steel kind of chin of his father, but he still can take a good punch. He can take a beating. The only knockout he suffered was against Liam Smith, which was a kind of a freak knockout, you might say. Yeah, like just getting caught with the worst punch possible at the worst place possible, and that happens. That can happen to everybody, more or less. So he's a tough guy, and Conor Benn knows now, I think, that he cannot just put him away, just cannot walk through him, and he will have to adopt a different approach then for the first fight. Should he win, should he have any chance to win? The problem is, however, first of all, the height and size advantage of Eubank Jr. Another problem is that he's got more experience from these big fights as well, and he knows how to pace himself and when to attack and when to lay back and be defensive. And Conor was just all bang 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 in that fight. You can't do that. You can't do that against a bigger guy, especially who has so much experience, who is so clever and good. So you gotta, take it easy. He should open cautiously at first, and then, not expend his energy so much at once, and just look to kind of, I don't know if he can outbox him, but simply, leave enough energy for last rounds, because this is, unless there should be an injury, a cut or something, I don't think this is gonna, this is going the distance, to put it that way. Again, very, very, very likely, yeah. So Chris Eubank Jr., I have no doubt this will be as close, well, even closer maybe in the first fight, because now Conor has fought him and knows what he's about, what he's like. So I have no doubt they will develop a better strategy, his team, than the first time. And anything can happen, so that's why it's a little difficult to predict. Most people, I think, will pick Eubank to win again, simply because he won the first time, but it doesn't have to happen necessarily, I'm saying. That's my opinion. Conor Benn is, as I said, the younger guy, less spent, and also the first time, Conor was talking a lot of shit, and I think Eubank was very motivated to beat him and kind of punish him for that. And this time, I think Benn is a lot more humble, and he's gonna have a different approach. So whether that works, it remains to be seen. I'm not gonna do a prediction on this. It can go either way this time. I think it will be closer anyway. So both guys have shown a really great resilience, great ability to take punches. So if Chris Eubank Jr. wasn't able to knock out Conor Benn in the first fight, I sincerely doubt he will do it in the second also. And Conor Benn, as I said, not big enough to really knock out Chris Eubank. Even at welterweight, he could punch, but was he a devastating like puncher in the vein of Pipino Suevas or Thomas Hearns? No, no. So yeah, that's the result is given. It must be whoever wins. It will be by decision, all right? So yeah, that was pretty much it. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody's looking forward to it. My God, it's gonna be a great fight. All right, take it easy, guys. All right, have a good one. Bye.